Welcome back, everybody. We're back with another podcast. We've got episode number 8, so we're flying through these. We're going to be on 5,000 in a minute. Well, it feels like it anyway. But of course, yeah, we've got another special guest. We'll get on to special guest in a minute. We've got Sean Meek back, and he's looking very professional in his pink suit. So yeah, looking very nice as well. He's spicing up with the flamingos over on the tropical island for episode 8. And of course, we've got KD in the booth as well. In the booth, I keep saying it because obviously commentary-wise, we're all commentators in this one, which is nice. But yeah, KD is joining us for this one. How are you feeling? You right?
Oh, I'm feeling good. Thank you for having me for this podcast as well. Yeah, it's very nice indeed.
No, it's good to have you. Good to have you. And yeah, how you feeling? You okay? How is it? How is it over across the pond?
It's not bad overall, but I mean, it could be better.
Okay,
with everything going on.
Yeah, so. Well, as I said, I think Sean's going to jump in there. He's got some special comments about being over the pond.
I love a good pond. It's a shame I can't swim. What time is it over there?
It is currently. Let me see. It's currently about 11:40, I think it is, in the morning.
Oh, blimey! That's just when I was just cracking up with my.
They have different time zones over there, Sean, as well. Yeah,
it's like living in the past.
Yeah.
About that time, I think I was cracking up with my third whisper of the day. So anyway, yeah. Do you have whispers over in America?
Whispers?
Yeah, it's like a chocolate bar.
Oh,
no.
I've never heard of it. I mean,
oh my gosh! I'm going to throw it in Discord in a minute.
Yeah,
and show
we'll have to ship you some over after the podcast, definitely.
No, the only chocolate bars we have is like Hershey, Snickers, or whatnot.
Oh, I do love good Snickers.
Yeah, both of them, we know them. Yeah,
get some nuts. Yeah, I know about that. Anyway, Alex, let's get a bit professional.
Let's crack on talking about chocolate for the rest of the podcast. To be fair, that's why not. But obviously, we'll kick off with the first sort of stage with the sort of recap of the HDE round. Of course, we had Britain or Silverstone around this round 11, I think it was. So we're already halfway through. Actually, I think we're halfway through the whole season. I think. Pretty much, because if you count it as a half race in between, but yeah, so I think everybody's done everyone's finished now the Silverstone round, so halfway point sort of for the season, we'll call it there. So yeah, it's been an exciting one. I think we had quite a lot of different races in Silverstone. And we've had a few issues in Silverstone as well. I seem to remember a Division 1 race coming about. But yeah, of course, KD, you race in Division 3 on the Fridays as well. And of course, commentate on a couple of the other races as well. And I think you did for this round as well anyway. So how did your race go, first of all, on Friday? How did you think it went?
Well, it could have been better, really. I remember I qualified on the front row with my teammate Cowie, who we've been doing very well in Division 3. But we kind of were like the class of the field for a little bit, but then we had like a few safety cars that came out. And then I remember the last one came out, and I got a drive fit penalty while I was leading. And it was also in intermediate conditions. So, well, when I say intermediate, it wasn't really intermediate conditions because it wasn't really wet enough. I remember. If I remember
the DRS correctly. Was still enabled, if I remember, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was still enabled. Yeah. So it probably was. Yeah. So I remember when I did my drive through, I got into slicks because I thought, okay, well, probably wasn't wet enough, I guess. But no, I was furious because I got to drive through because the game's stupid and ruined my chances to even get a podium or a win in any aspect. So yeah.
We've all been there. We've all been there when the game decided to. That's enough for you now. You got to back it in. But like I said, there's nothing much you can do apart from just sort of power through like you did as well. And yeah, unfortunately, didn't get any points in that one. But like, it was a difficult race from what I saw anyway. Because like you said, the conditions were due to change. I think they were due to change at the very end of the race anyway. But like I said, when the safety car came out, everyone sort of risked it for the intermediates, even though it wasn't. Well, they thought that potentially under safety car it might change over to intermediate conditions, but it didn't. So technically, like I said, the dries were still faster even though it was raining a little bit after the safety car period as well. So. So it was quite a difficult one to call, I think, and I think, like I said, even if the game hadn't caused you any issues, I think, like I said, the strategy side of things would still come into play massively, because I think we saw some drivers who pit onto the Inters after, and then when the safety car went in as well, they decided it just wasn't the right tyre to be on, so they pitted for softs and things like that afterwards as well, with only like 5 or 6 laps to go as well. So, so I think it was all over the place in that race as well. And Sean, how did your Division 6 race go? Because I think Sean's very proud of this one.
Oh, I am. I got driver of the day.
There we go. He's got a trophy for his cabinet.
I have. That's gonna be That's gonna be on my mantelpiece now for the rest of my life. I was. Yeah, it was all right, to be fair. I kind of risked it for a chocolate biscuit. Stayed out on mediums right at the end, and luckily, very luckily, I think that they were squabbling behind me, really. So that gave me a chance to finish P5 or 6 in the end, which is quite a mini victory.
Don't take it too far.
Yeah, if only. Yeah, I should have got a podium, really. Yeah. I was loving life. My season's been appalling in Division 6, so yeah. Let's just say there was a bit of a boogie going on in the Meek household.
Well, good stuff indeed. And I can't remember what the weather conditions were for your race, but I think it was all dry, wasn't it? It was a much easier race than KD had to put up with.
Yeah, I think that's a horrible race that was from your point of view, KD, wasn't it? Because the track was literally like borderline intermediate. I just didn't understand how it was still slicks. So absolutely brutal race from your point of view.
I still can't understand it, to be honest. I mean, yeah.
It could be worse, because you could have raced in Division 1, and and I don't know if you saw it.
I watched that race.
Yeah, you saw it.
I watched that race. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. Well, I mean, it's typical Codemasters, if I had to put it that way.
I think they nailed. I think you nailed it there. It was absolutely perfect from Codemasters, doing exactly what they do best. Sean, you were commentating on that. How did you think it went? What were you thinking, really, when it was going on?
Oh, it's better than. Hey, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, firstly, for guys who didn't see it, basically the game was glitching all over the place. There was a safety car that was out, and then it went into the pits without notifying it was coming in, and then the yellow flags carried on after it went in anyway. So people were overtaking and were getting penalties for overtaking, and nobody knew whether they should just stay behind the car in front or what was going on. And then, like I said, there was all sorts of other bits and pieces. The classification on the timing screen was all over the place, so people were jumping up and down the order in terms of. I mean, I was P1 at one point, and I was happy with that, but I don't think it stood, unfortunately. Sean, what was it like from your point of view?
Oh, I loved it. I love a bit of chaos. It was better than Belgium, wasn't it? 2021. So that's all I can say about it.
Yes. We got more laps in. That's a good point.
Marginally, about 7 more in the end, because I think we had it classified on lap 9 in the end, didn't we? Because that's where it all went a bit peaked on. First time ever that we had half points in HDE history. So pretty impressive. 7 seasons we've only had to have half points once. So yeah, bit of a shame really. And it also rained on the parade of Julian, who got his first Grand Prix win. So really good stuff indeed. I think Julian's been threatening the top for quite a few races now, and it's finally come together. So he's certainly one to watch out for in the future.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was going back on the half points thing. I think we had a race in Singapore a couple of seasons ago, which was classified lap 24 out of 31. It was classified as full points as well, because we got past the half distance mark as well. But yeah, it is the first time in HD history that half points have been awarded for a race. And like I said, I think because the glitches started happening sort of just about halfway through that race anyway, in Silverstone on Sunday. And because obviously people have made pit stops and things like that from, I think it was lap 9 onward, the classification was taken back to when the race was actually just equal for everybody, which is fair enough, I think, in my opinion. Unfortunately, I didn't get P1 in the end, which is a disappointment. But as I said, I'll keep that appeal. I'll keep that appeal going and let you know how it goes.
Good luck with that. Far's a hard bargainer, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not going to get anywhere with that. But But like you said, touching on that, I think, well, to be fair, overall, I think everyone did a pretty good job around Silverstone in all the leagues, in all the divisions. But yeah, touching on the pace from Julian, like you said earlier, I think he really did a good job because he was holding off he was battling the likes of Sly Guy, who of course we know is pretty rapid. And of course, like the likes of Danger Times and Blaze and things like that as well, who were very close by as well. So, so it's good to see Julian. I think he had a very difficult start to the season when he joined Division One. Well, he joined a bit late, didn't he? He joined a few races in, and then had a couple of difficult races. And you thought, oh, maybe he's not going to cut it. He's going to have a difficult season, and that's going to be it for him. But since sort of, I think it was, what was it? It was probably. Monaco, I suppose, wasn't it? Since then, he's started racking up the points anyway for the Williams team as well, which is a good combination. Now he got Epic the Animal, another American, who's doing a good job in the Williams as well for Division One. So it seems like both the Williams drivers are now on form and gunning for it as well, which is good to see.
It is indeed, yeah. So I think it's a good overall week, wasn't it, for Great Britain? Also, we had a cracking race in Formula 2 as well, didn't we? Did you get? No, wait, I'm getting mixed up, Alex. I apologise. I think I spoiled it for next week with Austria because I thought we got a pole position.
I didn't do well in Britain. In F2, put it that way.
No, you didn't. I remember you was in a hotel suite or something like that. So.
Oh yes. So I was away for work, and I decided, I'm still gonna race F2 because I love it so much.
I've converted
I'm gonna put on a show for
Who
sure.
doesn't like racing F2 cars?
Exactly. I love F2 is amazing. They was all giving me jip.
Yeah, I decided that I was going to take my PlayStation to this hotel, and the Wi-Fi didn't work, so I was basically using my work phone as a hotspot, and it didn't work very well. I think the connection was a bit shaky, put it that way. So yeah, I caused a bit of a lobby issue, and then my race sort of followed suit, didn't it? So yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare that. But yeah, like I said, Formula 2, I think has been going really well, to be fair, on the Tuesdays. So yeah, it's great to have all sorts of different sort of racing going on rather than just the sort of F1, which we're all accustomed to anyway. So yeah, like I said, I think the division side of things is going really well, and the F2 added on to that is going fantastic. So, yeah, good to have F2, and great to have you on comms for that, Sean, as well, spectating me.
I can't remember.
It's actually horrible. When KD commentates on you, it's fine, but when Sean commentates on you, you're like, if I make a mistake, he's going to go in for me. He's going to try and get me for something. So yeah, when you're listening to the stream and you make a mistake, you know Sean's going to pick that up. So. If he sees it, so
Chodis is quite equally that I may not see it because
that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone crashed out in qualifying in Division 1, didn't they? I don't know. I can't remember who it was now. I didn't pick up on it for at least 2 minutes because I watched the stream back.
The classic Sean is somebody DNFs in qualifying, and then he gets to the end of qualifying that session or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't realise this person was out."
I can't remember who it was.
I've done that before. I've done it before.
I think we've all done that, but I've definitely done that before. Yeah. I mean, I've missed the ends of races and things like that as a commentator, so it's I can't say much, to be fair. So I'm getting used to it still. But you guys have got a lot more experience than me. But yeah, so like I said, that we'll sort of cap off the sort of Silverstone chat for that one. I mean, we've like I said, we've got the next one's Austria, like you said, Sean. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what everyone can do in that one. Are you confident for Austria, KD?
I think I should be all right with that. I think qualifying will definitely be close. It typically normally is around Austria. So hoping just to at least get some points at least, because I really need that in the championship, because I'm down by like 39 right now in the championship to my teammate.
But yeah, it's been a difficult last couple of races, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. I mean, what else hurt more was I missed Monaco, but I couldn't do anything about that because I missed work. So that was
convenient. That's very convenient for you. Come on.
I mean, I've also missed commentating races Division 2 as well, but same story because of work.
Wow, that's very nice.
I want to butt in your if that's all right, Alex. Just because you're battling with Cowie and Gamer for the Division 3 title at the moment. And
Yeah.
how is there a different like perspective of battling with a title, battling with your teammate for the title? Because I know that you was quite close in PBE, the Championship division last season, whereas I think it was Ukaz and Dan Murphy that was having a good old scrap at the top at the time. But now you're against Cowie in the same team. How different is that then? Is it a completely different scope of challenging for a title?
Well, yes and no way. Like, yes, probably because, we're teammates. We want to try to do well for the constructors as well. And it kind of been showing lately how we've been doing. But at the same time, I also want to beat him as well on track because all the races and all of us want to win. So, but I mean, like, it's not like I'm going to have a perspective like, oh, I'm going to battle him really hard or anything. But if there's a case where, like, I have to take the opportunity, like, let's say if he makes a mistake, I'll take it because I'm not going to hold back. Or if I feel like I have good pace, like better pace than he does, I'm still going to go for it. So.
That's exactly what we like to hear. We love it. And in terms of pit stops and things like, 'cause there's only one garage per team. Do you ever jostle coming into the pits and stuff like that? Especially when in Silverstone, for example, when the rain was seemingly here, but you didn't need the intermediate tires for whatever reason. But when the rain comes in a traditional race, then do you find it that do you kind of I got to overtake my teammate, otherwise my race is ruined?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. Because I'm thinking okay, the rain's coming. I'm gonna have to try to get ahead of him as quickly as possible in case if there's a safety car that comes out or whatever the case is. And yeah, that's basically why I did that. So
me and Sean don't have that problem, so we're good.
I mean, no disrespect. It's just I really want to win, and I want to win the championship as well too.
And that's what I love to hear, to be honest. I mean, Alex is not going to like this, but I do like it when there's a bit of needle between the drivers because I think it has put on a bit of a show, I reckon. So I do love a bit of banter, and also when it gets a bit needly, I do enjoy it. But so that's fantastic to hear from my point of view. And we're coming up to the half distance, or we will be at the half distance around lap 18 of Austria. So, gosh, you got Gamer in there, you got your teammate in there as well. Are you how are you feeling for the second half of the season coming up then? Because we're now on to the more traditional tracks kind of thing. We're going to, is France a true? No, let's ignore France. We got Hungary and Belgium, Italy coming up, and we've even got Japan and all that kind of stuff. And how are you feeling for those? Because are you more of a modern day kind of F1 driver that likes the Azerbaijan's and Saudi Arabia circuits, or do you like the more classic tracks like Spa and Monza?
Depends, really. I mean, if you want to say the modern tracks, I mean, I do like Baku, Jeddah. I mean, I raced there last night too in another league, and actually isn't too bad, really. I remember in HD, I had the phantom damage because apparently I scraped a wall, and Jeff never told me anything about that. But anyway, no, I enjoyed that track, and also Portugal. Yeah. But no, like Portugal, Imola, well, even though they're DLCs, I like them as well. But the classic ones, straightforward to the second half of the season, I definitely do enjoy them. I feel like if I can, have luck come my way, I think with those tracks, I'll definitely do well there for sure.
That's ominous, that is. And do you like being the hunter or the hunted? Do you like chasing down the championship, or do you prefer to be out in front and have the points in the bag already?
I prefer to try to at least be in the lead and try to just hold my ground, really, which I can do. But if I have to play the hunter role, I can definitely do that as well.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the second half of season Division 3. I think Division 3 is really shaping up to be a classic, and yeah, really looking forward to that. It's quite a nice Friday evening kind of tea time as well, isn't it? It's perfect for me. Usually tugging to my burger when you go and racing KD.
Yeah, I probably would agree that, like, it's not just Division 3, Division 2 and 1. I've seen, like, even Division 2. That grid is amazing to watch as well from the times I've commentated.
It's very difficult, isn't it, to choose between Division 1, 2, and 3 at the moment. I absolutely
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love those. Well, I love all 7, to be honest. I don't think there's any grid where I'm like, ooh, kind of things. I think everyone has got like unique. Everyone's got unique skills, and it's really good to see. I do enjoy Division 7. Unfortunately, I'm not commentating on that for the foreseeable future, which is a shame, really, because I do enjoy watching Ash Tube, Jinner battling out. Then, albeit Jinner's had a bit of a wobbly lately. Division 6, let's not worry about that at the moment because there's a certain ginger who can't even get around the first corner. But then we got 5, we got 4. It's actually fantastic up and down the field. But yeah, Division 3, especially at the moment, is really getting my attention. And Division 4, I love those 2 divisions at the moment. But if am I thinking too far in the future? Nah, let's go for it. What do you reckon about Division 2 then? If I know the top 3 gets promoted, and you'll be racing, and if you are racing Division 2, then how are you feeling, or is that too far ahead in the future?
Well, if I continue racing, I would look forward to racing Division 2. I've seen how the competition is there. It's really good competition, and plus it's familiar faces that I've seen, like not Robbie. I'm sorry, because I have been corrected by that name. Be Robbie. I do like, but no, I mean like, but no, straight to the point. No, I like there's familiar names like him, Menace Max, AC Immortal, Keza. Well, by the way, those two, Keza and AC, have raced in PBE championships, so obviously I'm very familiar with them. But no, it'll be. It should be close because I'm familiar with a lot of them, so I'm not expecting much more as like I am right now in Division 3, where it's pretty close, I'd say.
Fantastic. Anyway, Alex, continue with your interview because I've kind of hijacked yours, haven't I? Really?
No, it's just that's absolutely fun. I was just listening because, like I said, I think, like you said earlier, sort of touching on how close the divisions are as well. It is mightily close. So, like I said, when you've had a couple of bad weeks, like you said, you had where you've not got the points you wanted, or you haven't got any points from those races, then
Mm-hmm.
it will like you said, the gap is 39 points. So there's still obviously room to make up obviously after that, and we'll see how it goes in the next few races. Hopefully, it picks back up for you. But like I said, it's like I said, the division side of things from top to bottom. In literally, we're sitting in the qualifying for a couple of the lobbies and I'm commentating on a couple of lobbies, of course, one of the 3 of us probably, and you can see obviously even in the quality sessions at the end, even in Q3 or something like that, where it's just like less than a few temps sort of splitting the grid. So literally those milliseconds now massively count a lot more than they did in previous seasons as well. So no, it's good to see, I think, and obviously it brings more competitive racing later on in the actual races as well once the qualifying's done. So yeah, it's been a pleasure to watch, really, especially in Division 3 and things like that as well. So yeah, so well, more power to you. Hopefully the points come back to you as well, so you can get some progression up the order. And well, I think you're still in the automatic promotion places, aren't you? Top 3
Yeah.
still.
Yeah,
So you've still got that under control. So yeah, hopefully, like I said, we can get that. You can go for that trophy then and push on for a bit further. But yeah, I mean, I think like we said, we were going to talk about the other sort of bits and pieces about sort of your league racing. These so just sort of touching on the very beginning of it all. When did you start? When did you start league racing? When did you first? Well, when did you start playing F1 games? And then when did you start sort of getting into the online league racing scene? That sort of thing.
Well, let's see. I have to go back to when I played F1 2011. That's when I first started playing F1. But I didn't play on a PlayStation. I was on Xbox at the time. Xbox 360.
Get out!
I can't say much. I was on there as well.
Get out! I'll do this on my own now. Everyone leave. Go.
But no, but no, I never played online during that time. I was offline mainly, just doing like career mode and whatnot. But I remember I first played and I had fun with that. And then once I got my PS4, I had F1 2015. Again, never played online that. I was doing career mode and whatnot. But 2018, I played more multiplayer, doing like the ranked lobbies or whatever. And then 2019 actually was when I first started league racing, but I started as a reserve driver for another league, and then by the time 2020 came, that was still when 2019 was around, early 2020. The pandemic happened, and then I started to compete in other leagues, like maybe a couple more leagues, commentating and racing wise as well. And then I've also got here too. Is a bit of a funny story. So Wilson was in another league I commentated in. He was like in a tier 3 or something like that for a league called WCR or something like that. And I was commentator for that. And then he brought me into another to his league, which was called WNR, or Weekend Night Racing, I think it was called at the time, back in 2020. And I did a few races commentating wise. I did League One and then Premier League, I think. And then, let me think also. And then, then I did PBE Championship, like you mentioned, for 2021. And then now I'm doing HDE for Division 3. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. So pretty much I got more into league racing, I probably would say, was because of the pandemic, really.
Yeah. No,
it's got nothing to do, so it's like, okay.
Why not?
I'm quite surprised by that. I'm really surprised by that because I thought that you'd be a seasoned veteran, so it looks like it sounds like you're quite a young racer kind of thing. So I was expecting you to be on the game before.
Everyone's younger than you, Sean.
I know. Gosh, I need a walking stick at the moment. I played football on Monday and I can't walk properly at the moment. So, but I'm quite surprised by that because just the way you carry yourself as a driver and also as a commentator as well, you do know a lot of bits and pieces. So you must be a very fast learner in how you adapt to racing situations. Is that more? I always put it down to experience. So you seem to be more of a naturalist than when it comes to racing.
I mean, you could say that. I mean, it's more of experience. That's kind of how I've been carrying as of lately in some other leagues, and this one too. I've been with strategies and how certain racetracks work. I try to think okay, in this scenario, I'm gonna have to do this or this. If it's Lakers race at Silverstone, I know it's gonna be a DRS train. I want to be up at the front. I want to try to, save my battery and whatnot. As an example, in terms of experience, you carry that knowledge to other racetracks or in whatever scenario it is. But yeah, that's basically the experience is where it comes from.
This is what I like because this guy plans what he's doing in the races, so he knows what he's doing. He's got a plan when he comes in. He's got a plan. He adapts his strategy as the race goes on, and he knows what he's doing. He's saving his battery. He's getting in the right position for his overtakes, that sort of thing. Sean will just run in there and hope for the best. So I've always tried to help.
I was that way before as well.
I always tried to say to Sean, you need to think of what you're doing. You need to plan what you're doing. You need to get your strategy sorted. You need to do this, that, and this and that. And then Sean goes, full power. I need to send it. So,
power.
So yeah, like I said, I think. Listening to that, really, the same sort of way as I do. Like I said, I'd probably say I'm not very much near your pace, but I'm just I've said too much of a veteran on these lovely F1 games. But yeah, I think trying to sort of manage your race and obviously basically just be a strategist as you have on the pit wall. Unfortunately, we don't have them in the game. We can't do with Jeff, but he's not very helpful. So basically,
he tries to be useful at times.
Sometimes he gets it right, but most of the time he gets it wrong anyway. But like I said, you basically exactly what you just said. You've got to do the sort of strategist type job as well as the driving in the game, obviously, and that obviously you're thinking over the differences and what you can do, what you can't do. Should I pit here? Should I do that? Do I waste all my battery here to try and get the overtake and then get in the DRS, that sort of thing? It is a strategic game, and you see what the likes of esports drivers who literally pay so much attention to detail to the tiniest little things. And I think we're seeing a lot more of that in league racing now, as obviously more of that sort of grows. in terms of the attention on it and that sort of thing. But yeah, I think that's the best way to race, because in real life they're doing exactly that as well. Even you see the drivers on the radios and that sort of thing saying, well, we shouldn't have done that. We should have done this, or I need to do this, or I need to do that, and talking to the team and telling them this is what we need to do, sort of thing. So effectively, like I said, the strategy side of things and the sort of forward thinking and planning of your league race is exactly what you should be doing that's exactly what they're doing in real life as well. So, like I said, I think the reason for that, the reason why people like yourself have more success doing that as well, is because you're not doing what Sean's doing, sorry, and you're not just flying in there and hoping for the best.
Unbelievable. It's roast ginger today, isn't it? Gosh, brutal.
It's because you wore that pink suit.
It's cold.
Since before we came on, I was like, "Oh, you're wearing your pink suit today, right? It's time to go, Sean. Watch out." But I'm just saying it because you've basically got two different characters in here. We got, in terms of league racing, that is, and in terms of character as well. But yeah, we've got somebody who's I said the attention to detail on KD's side, and then the opposite sort of way where it's just, right, I'm here to race, let's get on with it. And to be fair, sometimes that helps, doesn't it? I think I said with your fantastic strategy calls in your P6 in Silverstone, Sean. Amazing race, of course. Much better than KD's race in Silverstone. So
exactly. All the planning. Didn't count for much there, mainly because for some reason.
The plan was to get no points was just the game screwing me. So.
All right, okay, never mind then.
To be honest, even all that amount of planning can't foretell what Codemasters considers as a damp track. So yeah, which looked pretty damp to me.
That and a drive through for just changing the delta at the last second or whatever it was. So
it's very brutal this year, isn't it? Gosh, I love it.
Well, we all love Codemasters because they're great.
Mm.
That was my sarcasm coming up. But, I don't want to go on a Codemasters rant because I've done this about 5 times on the podcast and it's going to go on forever.
Yeah, I've done that commentary, so don't worry.
We've already got an hour, guys.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. So like I said, so what was I can't remember what the topic was now. I've started thinking about Codemasters. Oh no. What was the topic?
we were talking about like my experience and whatnot, I think.
Oh yeah, so I mean, like I said, well, in terms of your experience on F1, I think, like I said, obviously the more races you do, the more you learn, basically, isn't it? So I think the way you've got to so far has been pretty, like I said, it's been sort of excelled because, like I said, doing more league races, that sort of thing, over the pandemic as well. It's really helped sort of progress your sort of ability and things like that. Was seeing you in Division 3, getting race wins and things like that, and sort of commanding the qualifying and that sort of stuff as well in most races. Then yeah, it's good to see you up there as well. And like I said, I think Sean has probably taken a few notes from this interview so that we can so that he can try and learn for later races.
Just do more division. Sean, just do commentary for more Division 3. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah. Don't watch my race in Austria. I know that's a spoiler, Alex, but yeah, that's not what we're starting from. Yeah, we'll wait till the race after. It's France, isn't it, afterwards? So I shouldn't hit anything in there.
You've got a leg of tarmac, so don't worry.
I'll find one barrier. I'm sure I will.
Sean will find a way. But yeah, I think like sort of touching on having that experience in league racing, like I said, it makes you a better driver on the game as well, of course. And I think, even in my opinion, when you understand what's going on in real life F1 as well, and obviously you'll know that you watch quite a lot of F1 and the sort of the behind the scenes of it as well, and you know what's going on in Formula 1 as well, that sort of thing. Then it helps, I think, sort of improve your sort of style of driving as well, because you know when you're watching F1 drivers, well, maybe not so much last season, but when you're watching F1 drivers, you know that, like I said, they're at the very edge of a knife. Basically, they're pushing the limits, and they're going to be, if they make that tiny little error, then that's it. That's that. Well, in that the car gone, and potentially massive injuries as well, that sort of thing. So they've got to make every decision pretty much right, because otherwise it's almost a fatal injury or accident after if it goes wrong. So sort of listening to them, watching their sort of driving, I think again you can sort of apply that into league racing as well. I think you have as well is then just think about what you're doing before you do it, which again I think is the best way to do it. Like I say, the top drivers will do that, and we can see that you can see that in HDE and through the divisions as well, but also in, like I said, the Esports League as well, that sort of stuff where they're at the peak of the game and they can't get anything else out of it. It's just milliseconds left in that to get any faster. So are you planning on getting into esports one day? So you're getting there in terms of pace, I think, in my opinion. So yeah, we'll see you there.
I can't really see myself doing that stuff. I'm not as quick as those guys, to be honest. I mean, I'll race on a pad. I mean, if I had a wheel, possibly, but no, I
case,
can't really
don't worry about it, because pad is OP. So hashtag pad OP. So there we go.
Yeah, apparently, unless you race a Jetta.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, yeah, just think about the track layout sort of thing. It's probably more suited to the wheel on that one. But I think probably with we were going to talk about this, but anyway, but with like EA and things like that coming in, EA notoriously come in and make the game more user friendly. Basically means they want lots of casual players to come in and then spend all their little microtransaction money on little bits and pieces. So yeah, I don't know how user friendly they're going to make that when it comes in, because I think we'll see, like I said, less differences in terms of the assist side of things and whatnot. I'm hoping not, because obviously it sort of determines how you can get faster, that sort of thing, by turning the assists off. But I think in some situations where we've seen, even in this season on this game, where having some assists on is actually beneficial rather than having the assists off, like for example ABS, which they ruined. I'm so sad about that.
So they have.
Sean's very sad about that as well, because he used to run ABS off.
Of course. On my little joypad. Joystick.
I gotta charge my laptop real quick. Just
no worries.
All right. Well, we'll lose KD for a minute, but so,
I think he's had enough of our nonsense, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think we're done. So yeah, he's fed up with us now. But yeah, hopefully he can get his laptop on charge quickly. But yeah, so I think like I said, there we go. That's all good. Nice one. Yeah. Sorry, I was just saying that you got a bit fed up with us.
Yeah, but yeah, I hate you guys. No, just kidding.
There we go. That's all right. We get that from everyone. So, but yeah, so I mean, like, so you touched on that as well. Like, would you? I think we like having sort of more wheel dependent and more sort of pad. Well, not dependent, but like wheel favoring tracks, that sort of thing. Do you reckon that in the future that's going to get more even, or more the gap's going to get a bit bigger between the wheel and the pad, that sort of thing?
I don't think it'll make any difference, to be quite fair. I think it'll stay the same. I can't really see any difference between the wheel and pad in terms of like what the pace will be. But I mean, there'll probably still be some tracks like they'll be friendly towards the pad. Like Bahrain is, I know, a track that's very friendly towards the pad. Or like a wheel track, and you're gonna have some of that. Like I mentioned, Jetta is a good example. Or Imola, I think Imola is a wheel track as well. To be quite fair, just because you've got so many fast corners and fast chicanes around Imola, that seems more wheel dependent. I think, in my opinion,
I'm a big fan of Imola on the pad. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't mind Imola. I don't mind Imola. No, I like Imola too. It's just it's just my opinion because of just how fast that track really is.
No, that's all good. Right. What's next, Sean? Have you got anything that's anything that you want to add about just sort of grilling KD on more league racing questions?
Unfortunately, I'm
Before
on
we
my
get into
depth
the
now.
F1 stuff.
I'm on my depth now. No, gosh. Afterwards, I don't even have a pad. I have a joystick. So I don't know how you guys get around.
What?
No, I'm joking. It's like
I'm
one of
just
those old
thinking of
retro
like,
games.
oh yeah, I remember having one of them for like PC games and stuff like that back in like the early 2000s.
Oh, PC mastery.
Well, that was it. Yeah, I got a PlayStation 2, so then PlayStation for life. But yeah, anyway, so we'll go on to we touched on that. So unless well, if you've got anything else you want to throw in about your league racing career, then just jump in. But if not, we'll go on to the real life Formula One. Of course, we had the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, which had a few issues, put it that way. So yeah, I mean, what was your thoughts? Hopefully, did you watch the race, both of you? Hopefully, you did.
I did.
Yeah. Did Sean?
Yeah.
Did you watch the race? Did you manage to catch it?
I was one of those sad people that actually stayed out till I think it was like 2-3 o'clock, waiting for the drivers to come out their meeting on Friday night. Very unusual. That was. Before
we'll start on that if you want to, yeah, because I think obviously in terms of the weekend, what happened on the practice sessions and that sort of thing on Friday. Take it away then, Sean.
Yeah, it was quite scary, wasn't it? Really. It was a supposed missile. Has that been confirmed yet?
It was a missile, yeah.
That
hit the Aramco facility. Yeah.
Gosh, and it was only I don't know the exact distance, but basically you can see the smoke from the circuit, and that's way too close for me. Well, personally, anyway, and that's quite a scary thing. And they carried on with the practice session with the Formula 2 and practice 2 as well. Yeah, I was a bit. I don't want to go all political and stuff like that, but I was a bit dubious about going to Saudi Arabia. Anyway, I love the circuit. I mean, the circuit's fantastic to drive from a salvage point of view, but I feel that Saudi Arabia is a bit. Don't get me wrong. I want new countries in Formula One. I love it when Formula One goes to new destinations. I think we went to India a couple of years ago. That was a cracking circuit. Shame we didn't stay there. We've been to Korea as well, haven't we? A couple of years ago as well. Unfortunately, that didn't stay. But it's really good. It's really good for Formula One to venture in these new countries. But I feel that Saudi Arabia potentially, yeah. There's a lot of questions going on about Saudi Arabia's future, from what I've heard. But that was quite scary to see what was going on, and it was quite interesting to see the drivers taking a stand, because all the team principals seemed to be happy with the event to carry on, but it was the drivers that seemed to be a bit dubious. What do you think about that, KD? If I got that right, because I must admit I do get my information slightly wrong sometimes. My sources are not very good.
No, you were correct on that. I mean, I was kind of shocked they were going to keep going with it, to be quite fair, because if I was them, I would have just called it right there, because if you know the history, the Houthi rebels, which were the ones responsible for what happened on Friday, they have a history of having a little bit of conflict with Saudi Arabia, and they're backed by the Iranians as well. So that makes the things even more scary in a way. But I don't think they should have carried on. I was surprised they did, but I mean, it is what it is. But I shouldn't have been surprised at that part, because it's business, because that's what F1 wants to do. They get the money from the Middle East.
It's driven by money, isn't it?
Yeah. It's driven by the money. You follow the money.
Not the drivers. Anyway. The drivers don't drive it. The money drives it.
It's the money that does.
Yeah. As Lewis Hamilton said, cash is king. Yeah.
Well,
when Hamilton said that in Australia. Yeah, I remember that.
I think that's the reason why it's ended up there as well, because of the cash, of the money that's coming in because of it.
That's also why they went to Qatar last year too. Was because of that.
Who's paying the biggest money to host the event, and obviously that's why we've gone there, is because they're paying money for it. They're paying money to the FIA to put themselves out there, put themselves on the calendar, that sort of thing. So that's why they've gone there. But I think, like I said, it is what you said, Sean, about the sort of concerns about it being an event on the calendar for future seasons. I think it has been highlighted, especially after this weekend where we've had that issue as well. Like I said, on the Friday, I think it was in the practice. I don't remember practice. I think it was bronze practice one, obviously, because they did practice too late.
Yeah, it was FP1. It was during the day, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so I remember Max Verstappen came on the radio and he was like, "I can smell burning. Is there something wrong with the car?" And they were like, "No, there's no problem. It's just the oil facility down the road's been blown up," like casually. But yeah, I believe it was somewhere between sort of 10 to 20 kilometers away from the circuit as well. So I think that just caused a lot more unease for maybe obviously for some reason not the team principals, but for the drivers as well. Obviously their concern is obviously their concern is their safety on the track anyway as well, naturally, because like I said they're at the like I said earlier they're on the peak of their sort of the speed of the performance and that sort of thing, and they're literally putting their lives on the line anyway. So I think any sort of concerns, especially with that sort of thing, that whether if there's any risk of that sort of thing. Obviously, there's some cases where you can't predict what's going to happen, but with that sort of thing happening on Friday, it just put into question whether the race should be held at all, really, on the Sunday. So yeah, I think, like I said, on the Friday night, well, they on the Friday sort of evening for us, wasn't it? They did do the practice 2 anyway, and obviously the Formula 2 events and things like that on the Friday carried on as well. And then there was the whole discussion, like you said, on the Friday night that went literally over into Saturday morning, really, didn't it? From the Friday night into until sort of 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, between the team principals and the drivers sort of side of things. Sean, you mentioned a bit more about it. Obviously, I think from my opinion, from what I've seen, sorry, rather the team principals, like I said, just started to jump out a bit earlier, go to bed, and then left the drivers to carry on. I'm not quite sure yet what the details were on that one, but yeah, have you got any more information on that, or why the team principals thought it wasn't an issue, really?
I don't really know, to be honest, because if I was Total Wolf and the amount of money I pay Hamilton and Russell, I'll be very concerned about my assets. To be fair, that sounds very rude, doesn't it? Like calling them assets because they are meant to be human beings at the end of the day. But you know what Toto's like? he's a money driven man, isn't he? But I heard a very scary one from, I think it was BBC Sport, saying that if the race don't go ahead, then they can't guarantee how long they'll stay in the country for, which is quite scary. Put on me wrestling hat, because I think the WWE went to Saudi Arabia a couple of years ago and they had the same thing where they were stuck on a runway in Saudi Arabia for several hours or something like that. So yeah, there's been previous.
So they physically won't be allowed to leave the country because they didn't race.
That's not exactly what they said, but that was what I interpreted from the BBC Sports statement. Did you see that, KD, about these statements? No, maybe I was just.
No, I didn't see that.
Maybe I just dreamt it then. But they did say they couldn't guarantee like if the race don't go ahead, they couldn't guarantee how long it would take them to leave the country, which to me sounded a bit whoa. That would bring up a lot of red flags to me, and I'll be like, nope, I'll see you later, guys. Yeah, so that was quite scary. I'm sure that was from a BBC source, so I'm sure, but I did see it on Twitter. So I read all kinds of interesting stuff on Twitter.
Everything on the internet is true.
Yeah, isn't it? That's how I passed my college degree.
Just go on Wikipedia and copy and paste it.
Exactly. Plagiarism didn't exist back then.
But yeah, well, I don't know if that. I don't know. I didn't see that as well. So if that is true, then that is very sort of scary as well. Because it sounds like maybe there was concerns about them leaving the country in terms of travelling because of risk of attack as well. But maybe obviously that either way, if you're at risk of being attacked when you're leaving the country, you're still at risk of being attacked when you're on the grid on Sunday as well, I suppose. So I don't know what the sort of sense behind that was, but hopefully that was just one of your dreams and not a real life sort of threat, because that sounds a bit over the top from that point of view. But I think
like a pinch of salt.
Obviously, like I said, everything sort of after that sort of did calm down and it did carry on. We had the qualifying on Saturday, of course, and then a certain Lewis Hamilton didn't do so well. What were your thoughts? Are you what sort of well? Let's first clarify. Who do you support, or who do you want to do well in Formula One? Which teams do you like? Sort of thing, KD, and then which drivers are your favourites at the moment?
I mean,
you don't have to say Lewis Hamilton, by the way. I'm just saying.
I'm not a Lewis Hamilton fan, by the way. I mean, like, I don't mind Lewis Hamilton. I'm just not a diehard supporter of Lewis Hamilton. No, I was more just before he retired. I was a fan of Kimi Räikkönen. He was one of my favorites.
Who wasn't?
Definitely my favorite driver. Yeah.
Blow.
But if you're, but no, if you want to talk about the current grid, I like Max. Because he's very talented, I think. He's a very talented driver for sure. It's like if you get him in a car, he'll just perform very well. And then, of course, I like Charles Leclerc as well. I mean, I'm not saying this because, they're like at the top or whatever. I actually do think they're like really good drivers from what I've seen over the course of my time watching Formula One. So,
yeah, no, that's fair enough. They're both, like I said, both talented drivers as well. And like I said, it's been good to see. It's good to see both of them at the top, sort of. Well, literally, sort of fighting for wins, that sort of thing between the two of them, and really just having somebody there to battle Max Verstappen is quite nice. Because, like I said, we need somebody there. Otherwise, like I said, he would just drive off in the distance. But yeah, I think back to sort of qualifying sort of things. Obviously, with the sort of the big shock in qualifying was that obviously Lewis Hamilton didn't get through from Q1. Sean, you must have been devastated.
Oh, it was over for me. I turned the TV off, went to bed. No, it was. I think that's the first time we got. I think Crofty said that was the first time we got eliminated from qualifying generally on pace since Britain 2009, which was like blimey. That was McLaren days.
Because I think, like I said, previously. I think there was one incident. I think it was in, like I said, in 2009. But I think previously all of them were just because of
incidents,
bans or incidents or penalties, that sort of thing. Like I said, it was quite a bit of a shock. But then we saw obviously later on in qualifying that like George Russell popped up in P6 and P5, I think it was in the end anyway. So would you reckon it was just a sort of change? They changed the setups a bit for both of the cars to see if anything made any difference from Bahrain, because obviously they weren't very competitive in Bahrain, but they still got into P3 and P4 by a bit of fortune as well. But they seem to be the car number 5 and 6, and obviously for Hamilton it didn't go that way on Saturday.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I remember he was saying that he was complaining about like the balance of the car. He wasn't very happy with it. So that probably was one of the big things, I'd say, was just the setup. Mm-hmm. So probably he just wasn't too happy with it.
Yeah, and
fair enough.
Yeah, and also with the, I think that both Mercedes are like trying out different things as well. Because it wasn't in Bahrain as well. Russell was a bit behind the 8 ball as well from Hamilton. He was a second behind. So I feel Mercedes are quite lost at the moment. Russell did mention about apparently 99% of Mercedes problems will be solved by getting rid of this bouncing or the P word, which I can't pronounce. So the porpoising. Is that it?
Porpoising.
Gosh, I hate big words.
Yeah.
So they think that they might be able to solve 99% of their problems with that, but it can't be all just down to that. I'm sure of it, because I think they got that car's very draggy as well. Because they had quite a skinny rear wing on in Saudi Arabia, didn't they? And they were still they weren't exactly quick, were they? So I don't think it's all down to. I think there's a variation of problems there with the Mercedes. But I must admit, I do like the side podless Mercedes. It does look pretty sweet. There's, as Martin Brundle said, there's a supercar in there somewhere, but I think that they got to really unlock it.
Yeah. Do you reckon that'll be this season though, or do you reckon that's it? They're already too far back already this season.
No, they'll come back. They'll come back. I know they will, but I know they will be. I heard that they were going to develop the. I heard they were going to develop the floor. I think they were before the Australian.
This is what we wanted to hear from you. Not a Lewis Hamilton fan, and he's come in and said the Mercedes are going to be back, baby.
He's a Toto fan. I knew it.
I'm just saying that because over the years.
That's well, good to hear. Thank you very much for saying that. That's what we wanted. Me and Sean needed that reassurance. But yeah, I think, like I said, they've got some. Yeah, like you just touched on it. I think they've got some upgrades coming for the flooring for Australia, of course, which is 2 weeks after Jeddah because they've got a bit of a time difference to get over there, that sort of thing. So like I say, we've got 2 weeks before, so maybe some upgrades will come as well. We'll see. But yeah, did you know a bit more about the floor situation for the Mercedes side of things for what they're bringing to the car? Because I've just seen it's just a bit of an upgrade, that sort of thing. But I'm not quite sure.
It was just an upgrade. Yeah. From what I've heard.
Oh, that's okay.
They'll probably tell more about. They'll probably tell more about maybe in Tech Talk for next weekend. Who knows?
Get Ted on the case.
Sean's going to be taking vigorous notes.
On the technical side, it's just well above my yard. I can't do it. I just like fast cars. Then Ted Kravitz is my man for that. No, I just understand that.
Car goes through.
Yeah, car goes fast. I love
it. Yeah, well, like I said, we'll see. Obviously, we've got a 2-week break between the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix and Australia, which is going to be the third round. Is it third round?
Yes.
Third round,
I thought we were already around round 4. I got confused.
I know, it seems like we've gone so quick.
Yeah. But yeah, I like having the Formula 1 week apart. It's just something to do on the weekends, to watch on the weekends. But yeah, unfortunately, we've got to wait a week now for 2 weeks now for the next one. But yeah, in terms of the race in Saudi Arabia, what were your thoughts? Because, like I said, we had another. Well, from my point of view, we had another race winner that was race win that was stolen away from a driver thanks to a certain Nicholas Latifi. So he seems to be pretty keen on taking the race wins away.
I'm sure Keza was very happy about what happened in that race. Knowing him as a Checo fan. But no, that safety car, that was heartbreaking to see. I mean, to see that Checo got screwed by that. Because he definitely had the pace to win it, I think. But
yeah, I mean, like I said, even after qualifying, when you put it on pole position, you thought, well, that's pretty decent from Checo because, like I said, we don't often see him on the front row. Even sometimes with the likes of the Ferraris and well, I say that, but I say we don't see him often on the front row with the likes of his Red Bull teammate and the Ferraris now as well. Usually he's like P3, P4, maybe a bit further back, that sort of thing. So when he showed that pace in qualifying, I think it highlighted that he's probably got even better pace for the race as well, because usually he does it in the race. He performs in the race anyway, doesn't he? So yeah, like I said, it looked on for him at that point, and then obviously the safety car gets called out by a certain Nicholas Latifi.
Go Latifi.
Yeah, that's the one. So, and then of course the other drivers had already made their pit stops and that sort of thing behind him, like the likes of Leclerc, Verstappen as well, and Sainz. So, unfortunately, it sort of cost him a few positions, didn't it? But yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on Latifi, Sean? He just keeps ruining people's races, it looks like.
Oh, he's such a hero. I must admit, when Latifi first came to F1, I wasn't very moved by him, to be fair. Mainly because I got this cardinal sin where I judge drivers from Formula 2. Like, for example, Lando Norris, I didn't think was going to be very good in F1, and look what he's done. So he's been pretty good.
Well, he's been put back a few places now, thanks to McLaren.
Yeah, I think he's regretting that 4-year contract now as well, and especially with the engine freeze, he's a bit, yeah.
Yeah. I remember a Drive to Survive bid where who was it? It was someone from McLaren when Sainz signed the contract with Ferrari. He's like, how good is that contract looking now, or something like that. I forget something like that. It was said in Drive to Survive, and now all of a sudden I think that's backfired immediately because I was doing very well for Ferrari.
Just a little bit, yeah. Well, Minette probably got an illegal engine anyway, so yeah. Never mind, don't worry about that.
Yeah, around Singapore, I reckon it's going to be put back in its place, I reckon. That's usually what happened in 2019, wasn't it? Anyway, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that, wasn't it? Because they lost all their pace after Singapore, didn't they, or something like that? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, actually, no, they kept it a little bit in Japan, but in USA, I remember they lost it pretty much.
Yeah, it's when the FIA directive came out, wasn't it, or something like that? Whoops. Yeah, Latifi's. Yeah, I feel that's no disrespect to Latifi, but I think that's a seat wasted on Latifi. I think it should be someone else in that car, personally. I don't want to attack the Canadians, but I feel the same for Lance Stroll as well. But having said that, we probably wouldn't have Aston Martin on the grid without Lance Stroll. So yin and yang, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I think definitely in his case, yeah, and I think probably to be fair for Latifi as well, some of that money is keeping Williams going as well, in a sense. So, yeah, do you want to go down to 8 teams on the grid? That'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it?
No, we should have more, but we've already covered that.
Yeah, we've got little bits and pieces coming out. Well, like I said, we've got the Andretti team. The Andretti team, of course, nice American-based team. What do you like? What do you think about your American-based teams then? Well, we've got obviously the Andretti teams coming in 2024.
24, I think it is. Yeah.
Is that been confirmed?
It is. I think it is confirmed now on the grid. Yeah, so it'll be 11
My God.
teams if the teams are currently available, stay on as well.
That's fantastic. I didn't know that. Oh,
yeah,
that's no one day.
So you're gonna have 2 American teams. You're gonna have the Haas, obviously, and then we have the Andretti team as well. Is going to be joining for 2024 as well. So not this season, not next season, the one after. But yeah, I mean, are you a fan of your American teams? Like, how have you thought Haas have been doing since they joined F1? I think, like I said, they had a great start and then it went a bit downhill. But yeah, now it's picking up again.
Well, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, I would say, for Haas, that's for sure. But no, I think right now, from where they are compared to where they were, let's say in 2021 and actually 2020, because that was a dreadful year for Haas as well.
Yeah.
No, they've gone through quite a bit in terms of financial issues and all that stuff. But I'm glad to see that they've actually been doing pretty decently, actually, especially now that they're Kevin Magnussen back too. I'm very, very happy about that.
Yeah,
of course.
It's good
I think everyone could agree with that. Really, not just me, but the car looks pretty decent. It looks like it's more of a. I probably would say right now, if I had to judge, it's probably more of a midfield car, which is fair enough because they're coming from a long way after, like I mentioned, those dreadful years. But I'm hoping that they can get a podium out of it too at some point. I'm probably, if it does, I hope it's probably K-Mag. I love to see him back on the podium. And of course, same story with Mick, because Mick's another talented driver, I believe. So he's got potential.
Good stuff. Yeah, like I said, we've got more points again for Saudi Arabia for the Haas as well. We saw K-Mag get across the line in P9, I think it was. So yeah, unfortunately, Mick had a bit of a problem in the qualifying, didn't he? So his car didn't make it to the race, unfortunately for him. But like I said, thankfully he's all right. And like I said, the main thing is that he's all right. And obviously they'll get him back on the grid for Australia, of course. So so that's good news at least. Is that he's okay and he's going to be ready for the next one. But like I said, Magnussen doing a fantastic job coming back into F1, literally thrown in at the last minute as well, because it was after the Spain testing, I think, that they actually got announced, wasn't it? So literally had about a week or so to prepare for the Bahrain Grand Prix. He's done a fantastic job since coming back in, obviously getting the points in both races so far. So hope it continues, because like I said, it's nice to have the Haas back sort of where it was originally, really, because like I said, when they came in the first season, they were sort of in the mid points as well, to be fair. So it's good to have those sort of teams where they've, like I said, the whole season last season, and probably, like I said, 2020 as well, was just scrapped basically because they were just developing for this new regulation. They decided, well, there's no point in trying to bother with this car because it is going to be bad. We're just going to have to get to where we can get to for 2022, and long may it continue, because it's going really well for Haas, and I'm sure Gunter's very happy in the garage as well now. So it's nice to see a happy Gunter. So
I've got a good stat, by the way, for Haas. That's the first time they've scored double points like in 2 consecutive races since 2019, Monaco and Azerbaijan.
Oh,
fantastic! No, that's great to hear, because I said they're back on the up. Unfortunately, at the cost of McLaren, it seems like, because McLaren have gone back the other way. But
sacrifices must be made.
To be fair, someone must have put in the Someone must have put in a 2015 Honda engine or something. Not McLaren. It's not a Mercedes engine; it's McLaren engine.
Ron Dennis is back at the helm.
That's it. They just got the wrong engine mixed up, and they just put in the wrong engine. That's all.
What does it say Honda on there?
I don't know. What's wrong with this?
I don't know. Why is my car so slow now?
GP2 engine, GP2. But yeah, anyway. Well, to be fair, Norris got points in the end for McLaren at Saudi Arabia as well, which is good to see. So they have made some improvements, well, massive improvements to be fair, because obviously they were running P18, P20 in Bahrain. Absolutely nowhere near the rest of the grid in the most case, especially compared to where they were previous season, or the previous season as well. So, like I said, to be able to make those gains in just 1 week in Saudi Arabia, then good stuff from them. To be fair, like I said, unfortunately not for Ricardo, but for Norris as well, at least getting on the board. So that's good stuff. So that's pretty much it for the Saudi Arabian sort of recap. I mean, like I said, it was quite an interesting race to watch. To be fair, I think, like I said, there was a lot of action going on, especially for the lead of the race between Leclerc and Verstappen, and I think the battling was incredible. To be fair, it was much better than what we saw in Saudi Arabia last season, for example.
We don't want to talk about those two idiots that collided with each other a few times last year.
I think Leclerc's got a lot of respect for Verstappen. I think they both have a bit more respect for each other rather than the pair of them last season. I think I said they have a lot more respect for each other, but there is still a sort of rivalry. Obviously, there's a rivalry there, but there's still a sort of extra rivalry behind the scenes sort of thing as well. So I would expect if it carries on as close as it is this season so far, I think that might start to unravel a little bit, and we'll see a few more problems start to happen later on in races and things like that as well, as we saw last season as well. So I wouldn't rule it out, put it that way. So but yeah.
But hey, at least no, you're good. It's just I'm kind of surprised how good the racing was, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like you mentioned, the battle between Leclerc and Verstappen was amazing. There was the track actually wasn't too bad as it was last year, like in terms of the racing in general. Even though track's developed by it was developed a little bit by Herman Tilke, but it's still developed more by his son. And I've been a big critic about Tilke in terms of how he develops F1 tracks as well. I think everyone else could agree with that. But I mean, the track is a bit interesting because it looks like a bended. Well, I don't know, even a bended knife or a bended spoon, whatever you want to call it.
Sport.
KFC Sport.
You know what's on my mind now, don't you?
Yeah,
but
so,
it was interesting.
I think you touched on it earlier as well. The track layout is a good track. It's a really nice, really fast paced, really entertaining track. It does provide incidents, but it also provides good clean racing as well, and good fast racing as well. Which literally especially the DRS in Sector 3 at the end. So, like I said, that's a great layout. If they just picked it up and put it in a different country that didn't have so many problems, then it would be fantastic. So come and bring it, just copy and paste it and bring it somewhere else. I don't think they're going to do that. But like I said, I think it provides entertaining racing, definitely, like you said. So, and we saw that on the Sunday as well on the weekend. So hopefully they sort their issues out, and then we can hopefully they can sort their issues out as a country, and then we can carry on racing there. A lovely, peaceful, fantastic place. But we'll see how that develops and what the FIA want to do with that as well, because obviously, like I said, the money talks. So that's that really. But we've got obviously we've got two races coming up. We've got Austria coming up in HDE. We've sort of touched on that as well. We'll come back to that as well. But then in terms of Australia, which is the F1 track, which is coming up in 2 weeks' time. Well, 1.5 or so weeks time, roughly 1 week's time from now, depending on when this comes out. So I was just trying to cover all the bases. There was like 1.5 weeks, 1 week, 2 days, tomorrow. Sometime it will come out. Sometime Australia will be on
next year.
Yeah, hopefully Australia will be back on the calendar next year as well. So, but yeah, like I said, well, speaking of that, Australia is coming up in Formula One, of course. So, so we obviously have quite a few sort of excited fans, myself included. Obviously, having Australia back on the calendar as well. Well, it was on the calendar, I think, originally in 2020 as well. And was it 2021? I don't think it was 2021.
It was, but then they switched it to Qatar.
Yeah, so like I said, it had been planned to be on the calendar, but of course with the COVID situation with the pandemic, then it was they cancelled it. Basically, they decided they didn't want to host it, which is fair enough. But yeah, it's going to be good to go back racing around Australia, in my opinion. So what's your thoughts on the track, watching it as an F1 fan, and then also sort of racing on it as well?
Mixed views about Australia. I mean, it's not a bad track, but to watch, at least for an F1 race, it hasn't provided like the greatest racing, I'd say, over the past couple of years. But the game, excuse me, I don't like it. It's one of my worst tracks in the game. I hate the curbs there. Especially, I hate turns 11 and 12, which is that fast chicane at the end of the middle sector, which is dreadful. I feel like they've ruined that in 2021 compared to like what they did in 2020, where you can just glide over those curves easily. Especially the exit curve at the exit of 12. And but I mean, there is some overtaking that can be done. I mean, turn 3 is definitely a good spot. Turn 13 is another good one, but there isn't really too many, if I could be completely honest, in terms of overtaking opportunities.
Yeah,
that's the two like hotbeds of it, if I can say.
Sean, what's your thoughts on Australia then as a track as well? Same question.
Oh, I love it. I don't know why. I just enjoy. I don't know why. I just really enjoy Australia for some reason. I enjoy the track. Yeah, turn 12 could be a bit of a menace, but you know, all corners are a menace in my world, so I can't say much about
that. I'm not limited to one corner.
Yeah, exactly. Every single corner on the calendar, I can find a way to crash. But to watch it, I do love watching the Grand Prix in Australia as well. I think I have a soft spot for Australia though, because I think it's the first race I ever watched, so properly watched. So I think that's why I've got a soft spot.
Okay,
exactly that. I think the nostalgia of it, obviously, previously it being the first race of the season as well, and the sort of build up to the whole season and everything, then sort of culminating in that one first race in Australia, Melbourne as well, or previously in was it Adelaide as well, wasn't it?
It was in Adelaide, I think.
Yeah. So I think
bring that back.
Yeah, exactly. There's another track that we should bring back, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, like I said, having the Australian races, the first race of the season, I think, obviously was what we majority of us, I think, probably us three, definitely sort of grew up being used to anyway, sort of watching F1 as well. And then obviously since the last couple of years or so recently, it's had to be moved, had to be cancelled in some cases as well, but been moved on switch with Bahrain as well. But you never know. Hopefully it'll be back sort of first race of the season one day. Yeah, my like I said, I think I'm in between both of you as well in terms of what my thoughts are about racing it. I think it's actually a really good track to race on. I think there's a few challenges for it, like KD's touched on as well. But and I think it does sort of limit overtaking in some situations as well, especially if it's in the wet as well. It's pretty much just following the train sort of thing through. But in terms of real life racing, I think, especially it being early on in the calendar as well, I think there's quite a lot of things that have gone wrong at Australia because of reliability issues, that sort of stuff, where teams haven't had that time to develop the car properly. And I think we'll probably see a few issues again still in Australia, being round 3 anyway. But yeah, I think usually it's just thrown up. Like, so we saw, remember the Haas team where they had the pit stop failures or problems in that Australian Grand Prix. I think it was 2019 as well, wasn't it?
No, 2018 as well.
2018, wasn't it? Yeah.
Double whammy.
So double whammy that was. Yeah, definitely. Grosjean and Magnussen. But hopefully it doesn't happen for him next weekend. So, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so like I said, I think it throws up a few sort of reliability issues, a few sort of problems, like I said, with the pit stops, that sort of stuff. But then some good racing as well, some entertaining races as well at the same time. So fingers crossed we'll see another one in a week or so's time in Australia. But yeah, we'll have to keep you posted on that one. Of course, we'll do some follow up in the meantime on that one. Hopefully, we'll have another podcast out in between that. So before then, we'll do a bit more with some news and some run up to the Australian Grand Prix as well. But yeah, unless anybody's got anything else to throw into the podcast, then we'll call it there, I think.
I do.
Oh, Sean's got something. Never mind. Carry on. Keep it rolling.
I got a question for KD. Are you very patriotic, and do you have a driver like from your own country that you really want to like do well? Do you follow anyone like coming up the like junior ranks? Like I'm trying to think who's like from your side of the pond that's like really like on the up and up. I think it's now Logan Sargent.
The Logan Sargent. He's in F2. He's racing for Carlin. He's also in the Williams Academy as well.
Do you follow any like are you very patriotic? Do you get like really behind your country's drivers? Like I think the last American in F1 was Alex Rossi or something like that. So there doesn't mean they come along.
Rossi when he was in Marussia in 2015.
Yeah. So unfortunately, not sport for choice.
I mean, of course, if Logan Sargent somehow gets in F1, I'll definitely root for him for sure. Because I mean, he's an American. We're both Americans, so why not? You know. Mm-hmm. And plus, I think he's a good driver as well. He seems like a very nice guy too, as well. So.
Yeah, and unusual in those F2 paddock. Is there anyone else that you like look at like, oh, he's amazing, like from F3 or any of the other junior categories? I must admit, I can't think of anyone at the moment really, apart from Logan Sargent. Is there anyone you got your eye on at the moment that may make it into F1?
You mean just in general, or like?
No, just in general. Like, if you got like a favorite from below the league, gosh, I'm in HD.
I have to follow more from F3 because I know. I think the one I can think of from F3 is Arthur Leclerc. That's Charles Leclerc's little brother. Yeah, I like Arthur. He's pretty cool. As far as F2, I do like Felipe Drugovich. He's one of the drivers I definitely do like. He seems like a very talented driver too, so maybe him cool probably.
No helmets.
You definitely like them helmets.
No helmets.
I do.
No, I like him. I like Liam Lawson. He's another good driver as well. I think Liam's he's a Ferrari Academy driver, isn't he?
I think
Liam Lawson.
Yeah, I believe he is.
There's a lot of academy. I get mixed up between Red Bull and Ferrari at the moment. It's like really like
one of them's not red and one of them's red.
Well, gosh, you're brutal to me tonight. I'm gonna flip my wounds after this.
Actually, no. I think Liam's. Actually, no. I think Liam's Red Bull Academy. Yes. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, no. I like to see him in F1. He's another driver I do like as well. But of course, it's very difficult to get in those sort of teams if you're gonna
sign them up to Andretti team, then the Andretti F1 team, and then you've got them all sorted. So that'll be good.
Depends on the power unit too. But we're probably I'm probably gonna assume it now, but I'm probably gonna say Andretti's better gonna go Ferrari. I think.
Yeah. Copy the Haas model. That's what I do. It worked for them in the first season as well. So yeah, that's probably where they're going to go, I think. But yeah, I agree with that. Definitely. So yeah.
Right, now I'm done.
Just a bit of confirmation there. Sean's done. So,
I am done.
No worries. Well, we'll cap it off there. But yeah, thanks very much for joining us, KD. It's been a pleasure to have you on the podcast as well. Yeah, good to have a chat and sort of get to know yourself and a bit more and talk about the F1 sort of situation with you as well. Thanks very much for everybody who's been watching and for tuning in as well. And yeah, we'll hopefully catch you next week. See you later.
Ciao for now.
Bye.